I've said it before, I'll say it again, not a day goes by where there isn't some awesome Microsoft Flight Sim news for us to look at and talk about together. In today's video, we finally got a 757 project I can get behind in a way where I'd say I'm pretty hopeful that this will be coming to the sim from what we've seen already. By the looks of it, it's a brand new development team with not so brand new developers, and it's being helped out by the team at JustFlight, which only adds to the authenticity of it. Today we'll be talking about the Bluebell simulations 757, 200 and 300, which is in development for Microsoft Flight Simulator. One of my favourite all-time aircraft. I know many of you also like this aircraft, and that's probably why you clicked on this video. Without further delay, let's get right into it. So this is news we found on the JustFlight website. I've seen it all across social media today, and of course the fact that they've got their own website that you can go on, although it's pretty rudimental at the moment. Now, something I really like about this project already is the transparency. They're not saying this is going to be the next PMDG study level 757, because it's not. It's going to be mid-range. It's not going to be a simple control-y startup aircraft. There's still going to be plenty of layers of realism, but it's not going to be overtly complex, and you're not going to be paying for that. But it's still going to be highly realistic. Now we do get some screenshots. What really shines for the first time, and it's normally the other way around, is that the interior is looking much better than the outside. That to me could be quite a promising thing, because it shows a team that's not necessarily following the normal standard path of development. They're focusing more on the internals, the systems inside, and indeed the cockpit. Maybe that's a good thing. Leave your thoughts down below. We do get an external shot, or a few in fact, which shows the aircraft in a sort of wireframe setup. Modelling does look very good, and indeed the wireframe does show you how much attention they're actually put into this, in terms of it not just being a block solid model. There's clearly been a lot of time spent in there, resulting in a pretty solid aircraft. Now, as far as I can tell, the aircraft we see for the most part is the Dash 200. The Dash 300 is much longer. I might be completely wrong, and if I am, correct me, that's embarrassing. But I'm pretty sure this is the 757-200. Taking a look at the aircraft from the side, you can see, yes, it looks quite nicely modelled. Of course, still very early days, and I'll go on to development and indeed potential release by the end of the video. As I was saying, they've clearly been focusing a lot of their time and effort into the cockpit, as shown by this close-up of the mode control panel, or the autopilot panel, to you and me. Look at the scratches, look at the detail, look at the smudges. It all looks very good. Very, very good. Indeed, what really sticks out to me here is the autopilot displays, where they show you the actual input you've put in, and how it's basically on a little roller thing. I don't know what it's called. They're not used much today, so I can't beg to think what they're called, but I've highlighted it on the screen anyway. You can see the attention there in terms of being able to actually see part of the number underneath it. I really like that, and I can't recall seeing that properly to this detail in any aircraft on Microsoft Flight Sim so far. But it looks really well detailed. Of course, textures towards the top, towards the glare shield. Yeah, no, it's not looking too good up there, looking a bit pixelated, but it's still very early days. They'll sort it out. Now, moving up even more, we move up to the overhead panel, indeed the lower overhead panel. You can see a lot of it at the moment, I imagine is not working, but they have got some sort of lighting system going, as you can see. The texturing on the seat is pretty well done. Now move over to a nighttime shot of the cockpit. You can see we've still got a few systems in place, but still very early days it seems. What do you guys think? Of course, I love the 757. It's a perfect blend of glass and analog gauges, in my opinion anyway. And it's an aircraft that stood the test of time. Indeed, this update was released because it's the 40th anniversary of the 757 entering service on this date, basically. And the fact that it's still flying around in masses, especially over in the US of A, is a testament to how sturdy, how trustworthy this aircraft is, so I know many of you will have a soft spot for it. And finally, the last cockpit shot shows us the beautiful lighting. It looks very good here, and to be honest, if I wasn't told this was an aircraft in development, you could probably fool me and tell me that this is an aircraft that's been released, until I start really looking in towards the systems, especially the ECAS, or yeah, it is ECAS display, then I probably wouldn't know. Got our final external shots here near the engine. As you can see, a bit of modelling is still needed here, but the gear assembly is looking very nice. Now, what more information do we get? Well, we already know, as I said at the start of the video, that it's going to be a mid-level experience. It's not going to be top of the top PMDG style, but who knows, maybe they'll bring a 757 in the future. It may leave a few of you quite annoyed, a bit annoyed, or maybe even a bit sad of not getting a completely high fidelity aircraft. But let's just see how they do it. They say it won't be an aircraft where you press Ctrl E to start everything up. It will have all the layers required to result in a pretty well-rounded experience. I admire how upfront they are with this. I think it was quite a brave thing to say, especially with some people in the community nowadays. The team have also said they expect to show us a bit more detail about the system's complexity in further updates, stating that VNAV is very important to them. Now, release. When are we going to see this? It looks pretty well done so far, but it's nowhere near complete. Let me be clear with you. At the moment, Bluebird is planning to release this aircraft sometime in the first half of 2023. If that doesn't make you feel old, no, you've got to wait maybe a year and a half for this aircraft, and that made me feel old, me sitting here in a year's time talking about this aircraft still. But in the scheme of things, that's not too long for an aircraft on a new simulator. Let's just see how it goes. What do you guys think? Are you excited for this 757? Do you think it will succeed? Or do you think it's another dud? I'm more on the optimistic side of this one. We've had about 10 failed Discord projects for the space of this potentially successful project. So who knows? Let's hold out hope. Let's hold out some faith for the Bluebird Simulation 757, which includes the 200 and 300. And indeed, because it's not the highest fidelity, it's not going to cost a fortune anyway. Meaning that the 757 may be in your hangar within the next year. I'm pretty excited for it, I can't lie. I've linked the JustFlight Facebook post and indeed their website in the description so you guys can read through it. From me today, that is all. Last thing I want to say is a big thank you to my first class channel members. My channel members really do help me out, but if you're not a channel member, don't worry, you can click that blue join button. But of course, you guys just coming along, liking, watching and subscribing is always enough. Even if you just watch these videos, leave and never come back, I'd like to thank you personally from me today. That is all. Have a great day or night wherever you are. Goodbye, my friends.